angle of this one, you had your 2 all-stars putting everyone on their back and saying, I got you guys tonight. Keegs, you can't make a shot from out. I got you, bud. Kevin, no, don't worry. I got this. That's what happened tonight, and I still love to see that type of leadership. What?
Was there a moment late in this game when you ever felt like it was in doubt? Because for me, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't concerned. Look, this happens in the NBA. It's 82 games. They didn't play perfect tonight. They missed a lot of shots. They missed a lot of threes tonight. They were just 8 of 27 from downtown, but they went, this Spurs team can't defend us in the paint. We're going to change it up. We're not just going to settle for threes. We are going to make sure we are playing our game. We'll do it in the mid-range. We'll attack the basket. And they did just that in this one.
It wasn't about being concerned late in the game. It was about these are the type of games that we want to ultimately get to that spot where it's, you get to rest your starters. You get to rest your guys because it's still a long season ahead and you want a postseason. The Kings aren't there yet, and that's okay, but they're learning how to get there. They're evolving, growing, developing in this season to ultimately get there, but they're not there yet. That's all.
I mean, they had a double-digit lead, and they still won by double digits. 119-109. It wasn't perfect at all. I thought the Spurs got a little too many easy looks inside at times. There's still some defensive breakdowns, but to me, this is what I'm focused on tonight.
What are you focused on?
De'Aaron Fox played one of his best overall games this year.
Facts.
And I'm going to start with the defense.
Okay. His defense.
Because De'Aaron Fox's defense has been trending in a great direction.
Agreed.
This is someone who I thought coming out of Kentucky had all the tools to be a great defensive player in the NBA. It hasn't translated. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen moments, but it wasn't until this year that we've seen a different level of engagement. We talk so much about, hey, protecting the rim, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I agree with that. But you know what you also do? Point of attack. We hear it all the time with coaches. He's the head of the snake. I want that guy to be engaged defensively, and he has been fantastic. He is trending in a much better direction, and it's huge because he's been such an offensive-minded guy. The Kings have had offensive-minded coaches. There's not a lot of pushing on defense besides go play defense.
Yeah.
It's getting the motivation. It's getting this guy to be inspired, to be locked in and night out, no matter who he is going up against. And tonight, I felt that from De'Aaron. And I felt that in the last Minnesota game. He has been bringing it defensively, and that's probably the biggest development in his game that I have seen this year. We've known what he could do offensively.
Sure.
It's what he is doing now defensively.
And he's doing it more and more consistently, right? He's doing it night in and night out, and it's something that's making an impact on the game, which is great to see. I love everything that we saw from De'Aaron Fox tonight. I thought there was just so many moments throughout the game, and then you come into the fourth quarter when it's, oddly enough, now you just have this pure confidence like, De'Aaron will handle it. De'Aaron's got this one. He's good. He'll figure it out. He'll make sure to close this one out. That's why I wasn't ever scared about the Kings losing this game, especially there in the fourth. And I think someone else was mentioning like Morgan wanted the team to win by 50. No, I wanted a good basketball game tonight. It was everyone else today that wanted this team to win by 50. And I was the one that was going to be okay with this team winning like this. And when your 2 stars, the all-star reserves being named Eve.
Thank you. That was really smooth. I like that. Yeah. The all-stars being in the hands too.
Yeah.
I don't know where
having
I'm going.
this type of night before the all-stars reserved are named tomorrow. It's just great. It's one more reason why you get to be like, yeah, these 2 definitely all-stars.
De'Aaron tonight had 31 points. He had 10 assists. He did it on 13 of 23 shooting, 2 of 4 from downtown. He was 3 of 3 from the free throw line. He also had 3 steals in this game, tied with his old Kentucky mate, Malik Monk, who also had 3 steals in this one. We'll get to Monk in a second. But, yeah, I mean, Fox's defense has just been really encouraging. And I think if this team is going to improve, like Mike Brown and really everyone wants, it's going to be him bringing it consistently. You're still going to get beat. It's the NBA. It's going to happen. I get all that. But his level of engagement, his physicality, he's talking a lot more defensively. He's just talking a lot more in general. And I just love seeing him grow into what I thought he could be a few years back. Like, dude, everything's kind of clicking for him, man. Like, the shot looks better. His midi game.
Oh, it's just
what jumps out
dominant.
to you when you're seeing him?
When I'm seeing him, just like you said, in the mid range, right? You have the utmost complete faith that the ball is going in, that he's going to make the right decision. Where I think, just to compare and to give you what I'm going off of, in years past, when he would get into the paint in a certain place, whether it was too deep or even in that mid range, you could tell his shot wasn't all in one motion. There wasn't like pure confidence within the flow, his rhythm of his game. And on top of that, when he would try and go up to the rack, he would just look for the contact and look to initiate contact and look for the foul instead of looking to make the shot first. You're seeing night in and night out, he's looking to make that shot first, and he'll throw his arms up when he thinks he's fouled. But man, he does a really good job of trying anything he can do to make sure that shot's going to fall in.
He just hits some nasty ones,
too.
He
really does.
I mean, and he could fade away a little bit. He gets it high arcing over guys sometimes. His ability to stop on the move when he's pushing, just hit the brakes.
When you're that fast.
Gives you whiplash.
Yeah, that's what it does.
And so, yeah, I just think he is playing at such a high level. Field goal percentage, career high, right? Rebounding, his points continue to go up. He's in like 24 points a game. The free throw percentage is at a career high. And I think after tonight, he's probably right around 34-ish% from 3, an area he can get better at.
One of the things I noted down, just to make sure I remember this one, it was in that fourth quarter and on the offensive end, he was looking for his, and he had this nice in and out dribble, go up, off the glass, mid-range, and one, get to the free throw line. And everything about his move reminds me of these top-tier point guards that we talk about in this league, where you're just like, oh, shit, that's smooth, or oh, shit, that one's going to go in no matter what when he takes that. He's getting to that level. And I just am so happy that after, I guess, in his 6th season, that he has really started to figure that out.
I think my favorite thing about tonight's game, too, was both Fox and Sabonis came out aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think both those guys, and I know you want to have balance with your team right now, okay? And tonight, they didn't get a lot of balance because it was pretty much 3 guys carrying them. Keegan was 0 for 8, 0 for 6 from 3. Herter plays 18 minutes tonight. He just didn't look right. Missed some defensive assignments, missed some shots. It just wasn't his night. So those 3, Monk, Sabonis, and Fox, were awesome. But what I loved is Fox and Sabonis, go get some shots. I was looking at it the other day before the Minnesota game. De'Aaron Fox was averaging about 17.8 field goal attempts per game. Tied with Kelly Oubre. Fox, go get yours. Yeah. Sabonis, I've seen a lot of Sabonis games where he's only getting like 10 shots.
Yeah.
And look, sometimes he's so masterful at picking defenses apart. He knows how to pick his spots. But tonight, Sabonis has a season high in field goal attempts at 20. He has a season high in points with 34 points. He was 15 of 20. He also got you 11 rebounds and 4 dimes. 2 steals in this game. He also had 2 blocks. His defense has been pretty good. There are a couple times Collins got him. I think he's playing in foul trouble, so he's trying not to pick up his 3rd foul. But again, tonight, the 2 blocks, but there are multiple times tonight that he was doing a good job at the rim contesting. Now, where the Kings really get in trouble with points in the paint is sometimes in that pick and roll where Sabonis has to come up, and the help is just either late, not in the right position, or the Kings just don't have the length to really contest it.
Yeah, you see a few times when guys are either coming over the screens or just not fighting through hard enough, or the hedge on Sabonis or whoever it is. There's always just this miscommunication there at times. And just looking at his 37 minutes though, and saying there's those few times on the defensive end when someone gets him or whatever. It's going to happen in 37 minutes of play. Like, you're going to have these moments where it's a brain fart, or even you just mess up, or a guy just has a better move on you than you had on him defensively. All these things are going to happen. And I think for the most part, when Domas has a pretty consistent game, a locked-in game defensively. That's what we saw against this last game against Minnesota. You saw more of a team locked in defensively. In this game, you saw guys really understanding what type of impact that they could make on the defensive end if they locked in, if they got in those passing lanes, if they closed out the right way. There was a lot of good that was going on.
I haven't seen the deflections numbers for tonight's game, but they did have 10 steals. So back-to-back games where you have double-digit steals. They had, 15, which was a season high against Minnesota. They followed up with 10 tonight. And look, I know the Spurs team is not good, and it did not help the Spurs when Jeremy Sohan and Trey Jones left the game and did not return with injury. They're going to be a little banged up, and they're young. They're a bad team. I get all that, but like Morgan says, it's the NBA, and it's the Kings. We've seen them give up a ton of points to teams that aren't really that good. Points in the paint tonight, Morgan. Season high 74 points in the paint for the Kings, and Sabonis was just disgusting down there.
Feasting down there. I mean, especially in the beginning of the game, it was like, feed in the ball, let's go, that's all you need to do. And fortunately, that was happening, and they were capitalizing on that because they couldn't make an outside shot. I know we'll talk about their outside shooting, but truly what they were doing in the paint was so dominant. It was so fun seeing a team not be able to stop it. Now, it gets frustrating when you see that same team on the other end have some straight line drives on the guards or just get into the paint just as easy. We know there's still a lot of flaws defensively. There's also some good individual defensive moments from the Kings, but truly what they were doing on the offensive end in the paint, getting in there to create. You saw Malik Monk being a playmaker, passing it out, or dropping a little dime to the big that was rolling with him. Didn't matter where it was. They did a great job just being where they wanted to be on the floor.
Malik Monk, another big game for him. And I just love the energy he plays with. I understand it's chaotic. De'Aaron Fox's mom called into our daily show the other day, Lorraine, and we asked her, who's your favorite player? She said Sabonis. And Monk can be, but man, he's a little all over the place sometimes. I loved her honesty, and I think it's the emotion we all feel. We're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a bad shot. But you look at the end of the night, the guy's disruptive out there, and the Kings have been so much more disruptive defensively the last couple of games. Monk finishes the game with 22 points. He had 5 dimes, 3 steals. He did it on 8 of 13 shooting. He played 32 minutes. He also 2 of 3 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. But I think what he provides so much of that is much needed, and when he is at his best, it is when he's attacking the basket, getting some looks around the rim, because it opens up everything. And then he's starting to play make. I'm getting choked up thinking about it. It was just a burp. But yeah, it was a really nice performance from Malik.
You're so right. It's hard to keep him under control when he starts getting into the paint, when he starts to play make. Teams don't know how to handle his chaos at times, right? Which can be a beautiful thing in moments, and then also something very ugly at times. 2 big moments from Malik Monk I want to mention. In that second quarter, it was another steal at this point by De'Aaron Fox. There's a few steals there at the end by the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, end of the second quarter, toward the end, had a steal, and then sees Monk up the court. Alley-oop to Monk.
How'd
backwards
that sound,
jam.
though? How'd that sound?
Pirtle has the ball knocked out of his hands. Here's another steal. Tipped ahead. Barnes to Fox. Sets up the alley-oop. Malik Monk, a reverse over the shoulder, 2-hand throw down, and the entire Kinch bench exploded to their feet on the near sideline. 49-37. Defense turning into offense. 3 consecutive possessions.
That was a key sequence, right? Three steals they had during that stretch, in between that. Popovich had to call a timeout. That was I don't know how, that was one of the highlights of the year. But then Monk had one of a missed dunk that should probably still be on SportsCenter top 10, even though it was a miss.
No, because I hate when they do that for other people too. But I get it. We as the fans of the Sacramento Kings and Malik Monk,
I better see that on House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, because if he did that in a Lakers uniform, it would be trending worldwide.
Yep,
Like last year, he
point.
did that. But the fact that he spun away from the defender, gets up, and almost murdered Pirtle.
Yeah, I was worried.
Dude, that was disgusting.
The way that he got up and ended up extending his arm, like no one was expecting. We're like, oh, okay, he's going to get up and like do his Malik Monk where he controls his body and finishes at the rim. He was up in the air and then decided to do something completely different because he was so high up there. Hang time.
Dude.
Tries to jam it on him, gets the foul instead though.
It was sweet. It was a really nice play. In fact, so nice. He had to talk to G-Man after the game because he was awesome, right? G-Man's conversation with Malik Monk.
The ball is just going in, man. So it opens up a lot of my playmaking when the ball going in for me because they don't know if I'm a shooter, drive by them. And I just continue to make the right play, man. Because Domas, Mezzi, all my teammates, man, they're great at finishing, man. So I just got to continue to read the defense the right way.
Couple of great assist passes tonight, finding Sabonis, and he was having his way in the low post. What kind of satisfaction do you get when you make one of those no-look deliveries?
Oh, man, it's lovely because next time my layup might be open because they playing the pocket pass. So it's lovely to have a big like that, man, and he's so unselfish. He going to give you the ball back whenever, too. So it's just great to have him on the team, man.
How about the All-Star candidates? Sabonis and Fox tonight combined for 65 points, and they do it on 28 of 43 from the field. Wow.
All-Star, you said it, man. They got to be All-Stars. Them numbers right there just show you why.
Well, we'll find out, I guess, tomorrow evening on TNT. The announcements will be made as the coaches have been polled, the media has been polled, and they'll combine that with the fan vote. And there'll be injustice, I'm sure, if they don't both make it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to hear about it, man. I'm boycotting if they don't make it.
Let me ask you about, we've talked frequently this year about Keegan Murray, and tonight, one of the rare nights when he could not get a shot to drop. And unfortunately for him, he came one game short of equaling an NBA rookie record for consecutive games with a three-pointer. And for him to struggle like that, how do you encourage a young player?
Oh, man, he's a rookie, man. He hasn't been here that much, man. He doesn't know that the ball not going to go in sometimes, man. And it's just like that. So I stay in his ear. I try to stay in his ear as much as I can to let him know that the ball don't go in sometimes, man, and just continue to play because it's going to find you. Just like he got to the free throw line and seen the free throws go in. I count that as a bucket. So yeah. I just try to stay in his ear to keep confidence in him.
I mentioned earlier in our broadcast, you bring so much charisma, so much energy, so much joy. I said it doesn't make any difference if it's at the hotel, at the meal room, if it's on the elevator, if it's on the bus, if it's in the locker room, if it's here. How much fun do you have playing this game?
Yes, sir, man. It's my life, man. I love this. This is my job. I love doing it, man. If I ain't play basketball, man, I don't know what I'll be doing, man. So I just go out there with a smile and just try to have a smile the whole time I'm out here.
Well, certainly one of the highlights of the first half, 3 consecutive defensive steals that led to alley-oop, and your old Kentucky teammate Foxy found you for the reverse over-your-head throwdown.
Yes, sir. Yes,
My goodness, that was sweet.
Yes, sir. Felt like the old days, man. Felt just like the old days.
Congratulations. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
There's G-Man with Malik Monk after the game, and we're just showing us some pictures from the Kings locker room. Malik Monk is beyond fired up to win the defensive player of the game chain tonight.
I love it.
Look at the emotion he has for winning. Like, this guy's amped up. He's fired up
This is after
winning that.
playing a full basketball game and doing everything that he did in that game and still having that much energy.
One of my favorite things is how over the top this shit is getting.
Yes, it's perfect.
They're on the road. They have a fog machine in the locker room with purple lights, lasers. It's a party after a win.
What are we doing? You have 2 jackets.
I bought a cool jacket, man.
Yeah, and one lights up and one
doing?
sparkles. We could use some like fog machines and lights.
You want to invest in fog? I'm down.
Let's put it on the podcast card. I mean, you probably put that jacket on the podcast card, and it's designer, like you said. Yes,
Amazon
Giorgio,
jacket. Yeah. Giorgio Germain. I think it was.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, maybe we do need a fog machine.
It's not easy, or it's not hard to convince Deuce to add more of that shit in here.